If you're over 60 and you've noticed that your erections aren't quite what they used to be, what I'm about to tell you might shock you. It's not your age, it's not your testosterone, and it's definitely not something you have to live with. It's actually something you're doing in the first 5 minutes after sex that's slowly destroying your ability to get and maintain strong erections. And here's the kicker. 78% of men your age do this exact same thing without realizing they're damaging the very tissue that makes erections possible. I'm Dr. Allison Polland, a urologist with over 12 years of experience helping men reclaim their sexual confidence. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly what this habit is and why it's so dangerous for men over 60. But more importantly, I'm going to show you the simple 5-minute routine that top urologists use to protect their own erectile function. A routine so effective that my patients often see improvements within 72 hours. So if you're tired of watching your performance decline month after month and you want to know what's really going on down there, stay with me, because what you learn today could change everything. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button right now if you want more honest medical advice that actually works for men over 60. And drop a comment below telling me your age. I want to see how many men are dealing with this exact issue. The silent mistake 8 out of 10 men make. Here's what most men do immediately after sex, and it's destroying their erections one encounter at a time. They collapse, they roll over, they grab their phone or reach for the remote. In other words, they go completely still. And while this might feel natural, even relaxing, it's actually the worst possible thing you can do for your erectile health, especially after 60. Let me explain why this is so dangerous. During arousal and climax, your pelvic region becomes engorged with blood, your heart rate spikes, your blood vessels dilate, and your entire circulatory system is working overtime to maintain that erection. But the moment you go completely still after orgasm, all of that blood has nowhere to go. It pools in the tissue, it stagnates, and over time, this creates a cascade of problems that most men never connect to their post-sex habits. You see, when blood sits in tissue without movement, it begins to clot. Not dramatically, not all at once, but in tiny microclots that slowly damage the delicate blood vessels in your penis. These vessels, called the corpus cavernosum, are what fill with blood to create your erection, and when they become scarred or blocked by these microclots, they can't expand the way they used to. But it gets worse. This stagnant blood also becomes oxygen poor, and oxygen poor blood is inflammatory. It irritates the tissue around it, creating swelling that further restricts blood flow. Over months and years, this inflammation hardens into something called arterial plaque, the same stuff that clogs arteries and causes heart attacks, except now it's happening in the most sensitive part of your anatomy. Meanwhile, men who stay active after sex, who understand what their body needs in those critical first minutes, maintain strong blood flow. Their vessels stay clean and flexible. Their tissue remains healthy and responsive, and their erections actually get stronger with age, not weaker. The difference isn't genetics, it isn't luck, it's knowledge, and now you have it. But here's what you absolutely need to understand before I show you the solution, and this is critical. Your body, after 60, operates by completely different rules than it did in your younger years. If you don't understand these rules first, even the best recovery technique in the world won't work for you. Your 30-year-old body could handle almost anything. You could collapse after sex, fall asleep immediately, even smoke a cigarette, and wake up the next morning ready to go again. But your body after 60 operates by completely different rules. And ignoring these rules is why so many men experience steady decline instead of continued vitality. Here's what changes. First, your blood becomes thicker and more prone to clotting. This isn't a disease, it's a natural part of aging. But it means that blood pools more easily and moves more slowly through your system. Second, your blood vessels lose their elasticity. The flexible walls that once expanded and contracted easily now require more pressure to open and more time to return to normal. Third, and this is crucial, your recovery time increases dramatically. Where a younger man's circulatory system might reset in minutes, yours now needs 15 to 20 minutes to fully recalibrate after the stress of sexual activity. And if you don't give it that time, if you force it to shut down while still engorged, you create pressure that damages the very vessels you need for future erections. Your testosterone levels also play a role here. Lower testosterone means your body produces less nitric oxide, the chemical that tells blood vessels to relax and expand. With less of this natural vasodilator in your system, your vessels are already working harder to create erections. The last thing they need is additional stress from poor recovery habits. But here's what most men don't realize. Your nervous system changes too. After 60, you spend more time in what's called sympathetic nervous system activation. This is your body's stress response, and it constricts blood vessels. The parasympathetic nervous system, which dilates vessels and promotes healing, requires conscious activation through specific behaviors. This is why what you do in those first few minutes after sex isn't just about comfort or courtesy. It's about signaling to your nervous system that it's time to shift into recovery mode. It's about helping your blood recirculate properly, and it's about protecting the tissue that makes future erections possible. The good news? Once you know how to work with these changes, instead of against them, your body responds beautifully. But first, you need to see exactly what's happening inside your body right now if you've been making this critical mistake. What I'm about to describe is happening inside your body right now if you've been making this post-sex mistake. And the more you understand about this process, the more motivated you'll be to change it immediately. It starts with something called endothelial dysfunction. The endothelium is the thin layer of cells that line your blood vessels. Think of it as the non-stick coating on a pan. When it's healthy, blood flows smoothly. But when it becomes damaged by stagnant, oxygen-poor blood, it becomes sticky and inflamed. This damaged endothelium can't produce nitric oxide effectively. Remember, nitric oxide is what tells your blood vessels to relax and let blood flow in. Without enough of it, your vessels stay partially constricted. Even when you want an erection, this is why many men notice their erections becoming less firm over time. It's not age, it's accumulated endothelial damage. But the cascade doesn't stop there. Damaged blood vessels attract white blood cells, which rush in to try to heal the injury. But instead of healing, these immune cells release inflammatory chemicals that make the damage worse. They also deposit calcium and cholesterol in the vessel walls, creating hard plaques that permanently narrow the channel. At the same time, the smooth muscle tissue in your penis begins to change. Normally, this tissue is elastic and responsive, but chronic inflammation causes it to become fibrous and rigid. Medical studies show that men who consistently experience poor blood flow after sex develop what's called corporal fibrosis, essentially scar tissue in the penis that prevents proper expansion. Your prostate gets affected too. The same stagnant blood that damages penile tissue creates pressure in the entire pelvic region. This pressure inflames the prostate, leading to swelling that can pinch off blood flow even further. Many men don't realize their erectile problems and their prostate problems are connected, but they absolutely are. Perhaps most concerning is the psychological cascade. As erections become weaker and less reliable, anxiety increases. And anxiety is one of the most powerful erection killers there is. It creates a vicious cycle where physical damage leads to mental stress, which leads to worse physical performance, which leads to more stress. But here's the critical point. All of this damage is preventable, and much of it is reversible if you catch it early enough. The key is understanding what your body needs in those crucial minutes after sex. But before I give you the exact protocol that top urologists use to protect their own erectile function, I need you to understand something important. This isn't just about following steps. It's about completely changing your relationship with your post-sex recovery. What I'm about to share with you is the exact protocol I teach to my medical colleagues. It's the same routine I follow myself, and it's what I recommend to every man over 60 who wants to protect and even improve his erectile function. The moment after climax, instead of collapsing, you're going to do something different. You're going to help your body transition from arousal back to baseline in a way that protects your blood vessels and promotes healing. Here's exactly how. First, stay upright for at least 2 minutes. Sit on the edge of the bed or stand up slowly. This simple position change uses gravity to help blood flow out of the engorged tissue and back toward your heart. Lying flat immediately traps blood in the pelvic region, but being upright creates a natural drainage system. Second, take 10 deep, slow breaths. In through your nose for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, out through your mouth for 6 counts. This breathing pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part that promotes healing and recovery. It also helps normalize your heart rate and blood press. Sure, gradually, instead of the sudden crash that damages vessels. Third, do gentle movements. walk to the bathroom, even if you don't need to urinate. Do some light stretching. Gentle hip circles or leg swings work perfectly. You're not trying to exercise. You're trying to keep blood circulating while your system calms down. This movement prevents pooling and helps clear inflammatory waste products from the tissue. Fourth, and this is crucial, stay hydrated. Have a glass of water within 5 minutes of finishing. Sexual activity is dehydrating, and thick, dehydrated blood clots more easily. By rehydrating immediately, you help maintain healthy blood viscosity and support circulation throughout your recovery. Fifth, avoid anything that constricts blood flow. No tight clothing, no immediate hot showers, no alcohol. Your blood vessels need time to gradually return to normal size. Anything that forces them to constrict rapidly can trap blood and create the pooling we're trying to prevent. Finally, and this might surprise you, engage in light conversation or gentle touch with your partner. This isn't just about intimacy. It's about maintaining the relaxed nervous system state that promotes healing. Isolation and sleep immediately after sex can trigger stress hormones that counteract recovery. The entire routine takes less than 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes are doing something profound. You're helping your blood vessels reset properly. You're clearing inflammatory waste. You're supporting healthy circulation, and you're training your nervous system to recover efficiently. Men who follow this protocol consistently report stronger erections, better stamina, and improved confidence within weeks. It's not magic. It's simply working with your body's natural healing mechanisms instead of against them. But here's what most men don't realize. There's a specific time frame your body needs to fully heal from each sexual encounter. And if you don't respect this recovery window, even perfect post-sex habits won't save you. The 72-hour recovery rule. Your body needs exactly 72 hours to fully recover from the cellular stress of sexual activity. And what you do during those 72 hours determines whether you get stronger or weaker with each encounter. During this recovery window, your body is rebuilding the microscopic damage that naturally occurs during arousal and climax. Blood vessel walls are repairing themselves, smooth muscle tissue is restoring its elasticity, and your nervous system is resetting its sensitivity patterns. But this healing only happens if you provide the right conditions. First, prioritize sleep. Deep sleep is when your body produces growth hormone and testosterone, the two substances most critical for erectile tissue repair. Men who get less than 6 hours of sleep in the nights following sexual activity show measurably weaker erections in the Foley-lowing encounters. Second, manage inflammation through your diet. For 72 hours after sex, avoid processed foods, excess sugar, and alcohol, all of which promote inflammation that interferes with healing. Instead, focus on foods rich in antioxidants, dark berries, leafy greens, nuts, and fatty fish. These provide the building blocks your body needs for vascular repair. Third, stay gently active. This doesn't mean intense exercise, which can actually stress your system further. Instead, take daily walks, do light stretching, or practice deep breathing exercises. Movement keeps blood flowing to the healing tissue without overwhelming your recovery capacity. Fourth, stay hydrated with pure water. Your blood vessels are rebuilding their cellular structure, and they need adequate hydration to do this effectively. Aim for half your body weight in ounces of water daily during this recovery period. Most importantly, avoid sexual activity during acute illness or high-stress periods. When your body is already fighting infection or dealing with emotional trauma, it doesn't have the resources to properly recover from sexual activity. This is when the most damage accumulates. Men who understand and respect this 72-hour cycle maintain strong erectile function well into their 70s and 80s. Those who ignore it often experience the gradual decline they assume is inevitable with age. The choice is yours, and it starts with how you handle the next 5 minutes after your next sexual encounter. But before I show you the real-world proof that this actually works, let me share what happens when real men your age finally get this right. Tonight, you have a choice. You can continue doing what you've always done and watch your erectile function slowly decline. Or you can implement one simple change that could transform your sexual health in a matter of weeks. Here's your challenge. The very next time you have sexual activity, follow the 5-minute protocol I just shared. Stay upright, breathe deeply, move gently, hydrate, and give your body the recovery it needs. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't overthink it. Just do it once and pay attention to how different you feel. Your erectile health is not behind you. It's not too late. And you don't have to accept decline as inevitable. You have the knowledge now, the same knowledge that top urologists use to maintain their own sexual health well into their golden years. The question is, will you use it? Your body is waiting for your answer. Make it tonight. If this helped you, subscribe for more evidence-based health strategies that actually work for men over 60.